Punks in the building. All right. Okay. All right. We're all warmed up. Oh my. All right. Okay. We made it. We made it to see yet another day. And you have given us the pleasure of spending part of your time that you cannot get back with us. And here on the Unks in the Building, UNCS Unks in the building, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for continuing to like, favorite. I can't favorite on YouTube, but whatever. Subscribe, comment, sharing our stuff, our videos, these conversations we're having with you. Please continue to join us on our journey. Today we will once again be talking about Reddit stories. Or are we?
We are. And who are you?
Resident Unc Byron here with fantastic Auntie Stacy.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready? That's all I get? What's that?
I was thinking.
What?
I called this place.
Okay.
No, actually, this place called me. This place called me. It wasn't me. I know I was talking to customer service. And I cannot remember what it was about. But I remember, and the reason I thought about this is because the comment that was put on one of the other things about treat women right. Okay. And I remember this moment Kevin Samuels had when he was doing this thing going off on people. And he had a moment on one of his videos and he said, "Do you hear that?" She's like, "What?" She's like, "This is why you need a man." Okay. And it was crazy.
Was the beeping in the background?
It was the beeping of the fire detector that the person didn't change the batteries in.
Right.
And as a customer service rep working from home, and it's like, beep. And I was like, it triggered a memory. And I said, you know what? I don't like where we are in this so-called gender war. I don't like it. Because everybody needs everybody.
Yep.
I don't like it. And, it wasn't my place to tell that lady in the middle of our car, "Hey, can you change your smoke detector battery? It's dangerous.
Right.
You go ahead and get that changed out. It's finna die."
It's also extremely annoying.
And I'm like,
how are you living with this?
Well, some people just it becomes
tune it out.
Yeah,
There's
tune
no
it out.
possible human way I could do that.
Yeah. But it happens. It happens. You become deaf to it. It's just like how some people's houses smell.
Well, that's
you know
a
what
thing.
I'm saying? You get nose blind to it,
yeah.
and it's just like you used to this smell. This guy
I don't
used
even
to
smell it no more.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, these people I used to live up the street from when I was a kid. They had these two dogs, and the kind of shed hair was everywhere. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to go inside. You can't smell this? What's going on?
I knew
you
somebody
guys
whose house smelled like cat pee.
All the time.
As soon as you hit the door,
and
bam.
This is bad. It's like, yo, I need
you
to do something about this, my God. Like,
but that's everything. You go nose blind. You go blind. Like, that's why sometimes you read these Reddit stories, and you think you typed all of this out,
and you didn't have a moment.
See where there's a big problem here, but no, you go blind, and you just need the voice of reason, which is somebody else saying, "No, you're not crazy. You need to leave," or you're not overreacting. This is not normal, because the people around you will try and make it normal or gaslight or whatever it is. It would be normal to them. So, in some family units, crazy things happen and nobody knows that it's crazy until this outside person goes, "Yo,
hey,
that was
crazy.
Weird.
This is really
and
not
like,
normal."
Really?
So I said this, and like, it's people. I remember one time you know, it's crazy how far we've gotten away from the way things used to be. It's Unks in the building, so it's gonna sound crazy. I'm gonna say this because it's true. It's true to me, so I'm gonna say it. Love was better when men were begging on their songs.
Okay.
When men wrote real love songs back in the day, love was better. Love was better. It just felt better. Now it's sex. There's passion, but not love. And then there's angry women. And then there's women with passion. Nobody is singing from a desire. From males aren't singing.
Because simping is a thing now. When a man is begging, it's like he's a simp. Like it's not even
so
sexy
that part,
no more.
right? And that
And
part
that's
is
all
messed
women want.
up.
That's where the broken thing is. All a woman wants is for the man that she wants to want her, not some rando or someone
Right.
she's not interested in, but the man that she wants him to want her till he goes nuts.
It's so.
That's what all a woman wants. I want you to want me all the time, always.
I think that it's so bad now, as far as that men. It's already hard. It used to be, at least, for a man to walk up and just talk to a strange woman and put aside all his fear of rejection. There's stuff on the internet now is different. So you're gonna walk up to nobody, slide in a DM, send a message, and delete it to yourself. It never happened. But back in the day, when it was like you had to really try to talk to somebody and ask for a phone number and call and pray they answer. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It was a different ball game.
World.
And you know, that part of, hey, I had to work for this and it paid off, just died. And this thing just kind of...
It's just a different world now, because people are on a dating site and then you swipe, and then if the person swipes for you, it's kind of like a more even ground, even though the guys still mess those things up. Right. But like, we're both here to do... We don't have to ask what we're both here for. Because walking up to somebody on the street, you don't know what they're about.
It's crazy now, bro.
So
you know, I was just thinking about that. Like, it's so many things that just went through my mind when I just how this man used to talk to these people on his show. And Kevin Samuels used to, you know, talk crazy to men and women. People don't pay attention when he was talking to men. He didn't pop off until he started talking to women, because women got outraged and start sharing it like crazy. But he used to talk crazy to men too. And the thing is, everybody got to step their game up. Like, everybody has to step their game up. It's like, I remember I told a story about the girl that I held the door for, and she's like, go in. Mm-hmm. It was crazy. It's like, what are you doing? You're not used to it, you know. And then you look at the other side.
Was that on here?
Huh?
That you shared the door thing, or with me personally?
No, it was on. You know, we talked about that. But then the other thing is, like, the time we was out to eat, and I opened the door, and you could tell a conversation happened with the couple next to us. Remember that? We were sitting outside in the car.
Oh, when you opened the door
I came open the
for
door,
the car, yeah.
And no, we weren't in the car. We came out of the restaurant, and I opened the door, and you got in,
mm-hmm.
and then they had a whole dialogue in the car for about 3 minutes, and then they got out, and you could tell he was not used to doing it.
Right.
Because he opened the door. I can't really describe it, but he opened the door in a weird way where he was in front of her and she couldn't come out. So he had to kind of like back up and hold the door open with one hand so she can pass underneath it. It was something weird. Like, you can tell he does not do it.
Right.
And it's kind of like, you know, this is, you know, old school chivalrous behavior, which isn't dead. But the problem is, if you got the fella that's willing to put himself on the line in that capacity, got called a simp one too many times. And now that same person who is truly a simp, by all definition, that's, you know, we don't get there. by the definition of, hey, I'm willing to basically do anything for your love.
I think you're a simp if the person doesn't like you.
So the only difference between somebody, in some cases, the only difference between, I used to say this is a joke, by the way. This is one, let me preface this is a joke. I used to say, the only difference between a stalker and the love of your life is whether or not you like them. Because if you really like them, they calling you, they outside your door, they playing music or the boombox, the girl I love you outside your window and bringing you flowers every day and popping up at your job talking about I bought you lunch.
Steve Urkel and Roger from Sister. They were annoying.
They was annoying because they ain't like them. Now you sitting back here wishing a guy would just be like, you know what, I wish somebody would.
But you want the person to
flowers.
Like you. You want to like the person though. If you don't like the person, it's annoying.
Or
scary.
Or it's scary, right? Depending on the situation. And so I'm gonna bring this full circle. Like all these thoughts went through my mind, and it also triggered another memory. All right, so these guys talking on this podcast. One of them I think is a little special, and the other one is you could tell he's not the leader. I'll say it that way. Out of the two, and the question popped up and was said, I don't want to get into no trouble, whatever. The question popped up like, how long do you make a woman wait once you find that she's the one? Did you see that? That's into you? Okay. So the question comes up with these guys.
Oh, I sent that to you.
Okay, so you did see.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I'm messing with you. I'm bugging. No, so the question popped up. And he's like, how long do you wait? And I always say, like, look, man, not to objectify women, but men hunt the same way all the time.
Somebody said 2 years.
Somebody said 2 years.
And they were like,
so if you think this is the one and you're going to say, you're going to make this woman wait 2 years after you know this is the one before you can. And I wish the clip would have went on because I wanted to hear his rebuttal to that.
Because he looked unsure of himself when he said it.
Yeah, because there's no time frame.
He said, "I need to vet the person because he's probably been hurt or whatever."
Right, and I believe in that. Like you know, there's a line. Of course, you need to. I always compare it to shoes. Not necessarily objectifying women by any stretch of imagination, but I always compare it to shoes because it's true. Right, a man shops for shoes a certain way. I want a pair of Air Jordan 1s. I know the size shoe that I need. I bought this shoe before. I don't need to try it on. Or I like this new pair of shoes, whatever it may be. I think we up to 40 now that they about to drop soon. I don't know how it's going to fit me. I know I'm going to need this size, half size up, maybe a half size down, depending on the cut. You know what it is, but you want this shoe. What we don't do is, I'm going to the mall, just kind of looking around. I think I might get some shoes today. Can I pick up a pair of shoes? Yeah, I'm going to take these to the register. Let me get these in a 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Okay, I know my size might be 11 and a half. But I just want to try them on. And then once I buy them, I might not buy them. I'm going to just walk around the store with them in my hand. I'm going to look around and see. Let me just check a few other stores and see if they got something else I might like. We don't shop like that.
Right.
Most of us, though. I'm just trying to say, I just don't. Most of us don't shop like that. It's kind of like, I want this, even if I did. So it's the only time that kind of comes into play, like, you know, depending on what area of fashion, specifically with tennis shoes that don't go that way. When you're talking about with sneakers or however you call them, you're talking about some dress shoes, right? And I'm like, I know I need a black pair of dress shoes. I need to see how it's going to hit on these suit pants. Right. And I might try out a few pairs of those. But once I get the pair that look good on my suit, I'm done. Right. I'm not buying them or taking them to the register saying, can you hold these while I go and look around? just in case y'all get something a little bit different next week, it doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense with shoes. And we don't do that with our women. The people who want to get married don't do that with our women. If we want you, we want you. And it has to stop with this childish behavior. It's like a lot of guys got to be real with themselves. It's like, bruh, just be honest. You don't want to be in a relationship. You just don't want. And it's something inside a man. I heard and this I'll wrap this up soon. But I heard I think it was a comedian name. I think it was Patrice O'Neal. He was a comedian. I can't remember exactly how the joke went. It's very old, but he said something to the effect of, it's not that I want to be alone, and it's not that you get on my nerves, but I just need you just around. Mm-hmm. I just need you. I didn't know. I don't want to live by myself. Mm-hmm. I need to know you're coming home eventually from work. I don't want you up under me all the time, but at the same time, I want to be around you. If that makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things that I think that we've lost that, because it's kind of like there's this growing group of people on both sides, male and female, who don't know how to relate in a relationship with each other. Mm-hmm. They don't know how to. And it's so much, it's kind of like, ma'am, please stop calling these men simple who like you. Don't call them simple. And sir, if you're going to do it, make a decision. Because when you don't make a decision, you don't want a woman. Just stop. You don't want one. Because you want something, you just going to do it. Right.
A lot of times the girls, it's like, you always say your type is the reason why you're single.
Your type is why you're single.
They don't like the guys who like them.
And that means you need to do what? Fix yourself. Because either A, it's a true statement that might be you are what you attract, or B, you don't know what you are, what you want, which is you are what you attract. You attracting confusion.
Well, maybe sometimes it's the guy is too nice, and they just don't. They think
self-worth ain't good.
It needs to be more. Yeah, toxic. It needs to be a little bit more chase, a little bit more bad boy. Anyway, we've talked about this before, so
it's not good, man. It's not good. I wanted to end, but I wanted to end with us getting back to understanding that we need one another. It's not about want only. It ain't about need only. You need to need and want the person, but we need one another. And stop with all this. I can do bad by myself, independent, this and that. Just stop. We need to help each other out. We need to get back to serving. Get back to serving. And I'm gonna wrap this up.
Sexy for people.
I'm gonna wrap this up because the serving is what I thought about when that beep happened. You can't fix your.
Well, that's sexist, but I get what you're saying.
It's sexist. It's a lot of women, but you got. But pause for a second. Saying. No, you have to admit that there's a lot of women who cannot hang a picture. It's women who can. But it's a lot of women. I'm pretty sure you can run down your Rolodex, and it's a lot of them people in there that's just like, I don't hang no picture. I can't hang a TV on the wall. I need somebody to come do that for me.
100%.
So I'm saying we been got hypersensitive on this stuff, but it's true. It's a lot of us.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. It's a lot of us men who can't function. We can't function. I'm talking about, I knew people who get up in the mornings, why are your fingernails so dirty? Why can't you groom anything about yourself? Why is it that you don't know how to cook enough to survive? Every meal you gonna eat out? You don't got nothing in your refrigerator ever? You still ain't bought a couch, and you done stayed in this apartment 5 years. All you got are the TV. You know, it's like men need women to help make a house a home. They do. It's a lot of stuff in this house. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't have.
I know.
I'm not saying it doesn't help. I mean, these pillows feel good behind my back. You know, I'm not saying. I just wouldn't have bought it.
A woman's touch makes a massive difference.
It does.
Like when we would go visit my brother when he was a bachelor at the time, we would come over. Like even when my sister would come over when I wasn't even there, and go visit, and like his friend or roommate would come over and be like, he's like, a woman's touch. Like she would come in and do one or two things, or come in and use the bathroom. He's like, it smells like a woman's been in here, because it's just, men function differently. They're way more, most men, not all men. But like,
and we gotta keep putting these asterisks on the stuff. Jesus,
that's just the world we live in, buddy.
I do it all the time. I'm just like, Lord.
Yeah, you have to.
But it's true.
Function a certain way, and the girls come in and they put in a woman's touch. You know, like in where I work, you know, you have some, like a woman was trying to buy something for her new boyfriend's place so that she could leave her mark. She's like, I wanted to look like a woman was here, but not make it look too feminine.
Right.
But I wanted to be like, okay, I'm here now.
Okay.
But also being mindful that she doesn't live there. She just wants to be like, I want to get you like a plant, like one of those fake plant things to make it look like, oh, I have a girlfriend now. Because people will come and be like, your girl ain't touched this place up yet.
Men's stuff. You go to one of these guys' apartments or houses, and they are functional. It's like, this table is where I put this stuff. I eat on this table. I have this couch. I got this fridge. It's this size because I only need this much. I keep my stuff over here in this drawer, and that's it. When you start talking about, I got throws, I got extra pillows, I bought this rug for this area, this is where my high traffic spot. What are we doing? We're not doing none of that.
Men with money will get the help.
They're going to get help, but they're not going to do it themselves.
Right.
Most of them.
But are we reading Reddit stories today?
No, we're probably not reading Reddit stories. I'm sorry.
I had a good one.
Okay, go ahead.
Finish your conversation.
No, I just had that thought. It's just going, we can beat that.
No, finish it. I just wanted to know so I could put this phone away. If not.
Yeah. No, you got a good one, so. But no, I just thought about that. I was just like, we got to start helping each other out, man. We got to start helping each other out.
I agree.
And get on the same page. It's this weirdo stuff where people just, you know, I just like a look. I've been watching this pop the balloon. I gotta stop. That pop balloon stuff for me to get off of my algorithm, because it just
not
be making
interested.
Me,
is what you.
It'd be making me angry, but it's so entertaining. But it's entertaining, but it be making me angry. The pop balloon
shows the base of society.
Oh my gosh!
And the one I sent you, I thought was very interesting, and I was glad to see it. To be honest, the girl was not bad looking, and she said she had decent looking men there. Yeah. And she was decent looking, and she said. The one guy popped his balloon. They asked him why, and he said, because you say you don't believe in God.
Oh, I didn't think she was all that cute, but go ahead.
She wasn't bad looking. There's some girls who are like, what are you doing on here?
No, we know exactly what you're doing here. Nobody choosing you in
but
public.
She wasn't bad looking to be like, people will pop the balloon immediately. Anyways, from what I remember, irrelevant. Some guys care about body. So anyways, she said she didn't believe in God. And the guy, he was like, yeah, I believe in God, so that's not going to work. And then she was like, well, what is it? She's like, I'm not religious, I'm agnostic. And they said, pop, 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 pop. Everybody popped. Yeah. And I was like, okay, the world is not this in dire shape as you would think. Because everybody's trying to be like, you know, this, that, whatever, you know.
It's a lot
the world's going wherever it's going. But people want somebody who believes in God. And I was very happy to see that. He used the right
word, though. He used the right word. He said foundation. He's like, you got to have a foundation in something.
Because she said, I'm agnostic. He was like, can you tell me what the definition of agnostic is? And she said, well, I don't not believe in anything, but what did she say? I don't remember what she said.
No, that's what it is.
Yeah,
Because an agnostic person doesn't even believe in a higher power.
Right. Could or couldn't be. Isn't that what that is?
No, I think they're just kind of like there's nothing. It just is.
No, that's the person who is. What's the other word? Well, who doesn't? Who
atheist.
Atheist. That's atheist.
Okay. All right.
Agnostic is.
I'm getting confused.
Whatever
the A
could
word,
or couldn't
whatever.
be. But he was like, mm-mm.
Yeah, he was like that. Yeah, and there was several others on there that was just kind of like. But that stuff.
She's like, oh, because I guess the guy she was interested in said something.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I might.
No. She said you can convert. That's what she said to him.
I thought she said I could convert. What would he convert to? Agnosticism? That's not a thing. Anyways, I was happy to see that men wanted a woman that believed in God, and a lot of them were like, "We're not deep into it, but
you got to be something.
You can't be nothing."
Yeah,
and, that's the right road.
But now the next step after that, after getting your life fully on that road, the next step would be when we talk about when you fix your relationship with God and you fix your relationship with each other, man, because it's like that part is missing.
The relationship with God is probably the reason why everything's out of whack to begin with.
Very true statement. That I believe that people can't love God, they can't love themselves, and if they can't do those two things, they definitely don't have the capacity to love somebody else.
Exactly.
Because especially if you can't love yourself, because these people you're not gonna even know what to look for. I'm like, popping a balloon. It's like watching Maury back in the day. Like you get the joy of you are not the father. That's the kind of same feeling you get off Pop the Balloon. Is watch as a guilty pleasure. Anyway, I'm rambling. Help each other out.
Okay, I'm gonna read a story and then you can decide whether you want to put this in or not. Or to give you a short or something.
Okay.
This is from the subreddit AITA. Am I the a-hole?
Mm-hmm.
Am I the a-hole for telling my mom her husband is just the guy she cheated on my dad with?
Oh my God.
My parents divorced when I 27 female, was 10 because my mom had an affair. How do I know? Because her affair partner turned husband was also married, and his wife at the time showed up at our house after the affair came out, both sides, and yelled it all over the place. She had to be removed by the cops, and she showed up a few more times over the next 2 years. My mom blamed my dad for me finding out until I was 14, and I told her I wasn't deaf and could hear that woman outside our house, and I wasn't too young to understand what it meant. My relationship with my mom was strained by her affair, and I don't give an F about her husband. He never had kids and tried to play the dad role, but I shut him out and put him in his place whenever he tried by reminding him that I have a dad and he doesn't get to take me from my dad like he took my mom. And yes, I know nobody can take another person. It was my mom's choice and her fault too. But still, it felt extra insulting to try and play parent when he helped destroy my family and dad's marriage to mom. My dad died when I was 19. It was a very tense time in my relationship with my mom because I didn't tell her. She found out after dad's funeral. A part of me was glad because I did not want her to come at the funeral, and I certainly didn't want her there with her husband. My mom was hurt and acted like I owed it to her to let them come, so that they could be there for me. I told her their support was not wanted right then, especially not for losing dad. Even still, she believed that her husband would have become the father figure I no longer had with dad gone, and they both expected he would be given father of the bride honors at my wedding. Lord. Instead, I asked my grandpa, and my mom blew a fuse when she found out. She asked me what the hell I was thinking, and her husband had been there raising me since I was 10, and he's more to me than just some random guy. I told her she was partly right, that he's just the guy she cheated on my dad with, nothing more. My mom said it was childish and a vindictive way to describe him, and that I need to get the F over it and appreciate how hard he tried with me. She said it's like I'm trying to punish them for the affair when it's nothing to do with me. I told her it isn't a punishment. This is consequences, and she has to live with them, same way he does. She's still going crazy about me saying that, and I don't feel bad, but my question is maybe if I was a bit of an a-hole for telling her that, maybe am I the a-hole?
That's tough. I understand the some of the bitterness that's happened because of, hey, this ruined your the family in your eyes based on your mother's mistake. The crazy thing is, so stepfathers, right? I talked about this at one point, I believe. Stepfathers are important. They are. I don't like how he got his role as a stepfather.
Right.
Because, when you get the role, you take over somebody else's child. That's vital, especially if that person isn't in their life. To take it, through infidelity is, I don't like it. However, if he did what he was supposed to do from a standpoint of, hey, I'm taking care of the household, raising you up, feeding you, roof over your head, I think at a certain point in time, let me pause. I'll say this. There is some merit to those actions, right? There's some good to those actions to say, hey, I did help contribute to your upbringing. And that could be acknowledged. Whether it should be acknowledged, I can't tell you. But it could be acknowledged, and I think that would be understandable if you did acknowledge that this man did help raise you up. Second word I'm going to use, second point I'm going to make is forgiveness. Forgiveness at a certain point in time got to happen. Right. Now, it's hard to look at somebody in the face and continue to blame them for things that happened in the past. But the issue is, because it ended the marriage, it serves as a constant reminder for the rest of your days that this individual did what he did. So there's no way to forget. Time heals wounds. Over time, you can kind of forget the sting of what happened, but because it was so final in ruining, your 2-parent household, it's not something you could easily forget because you keep seeing it. I think at a certain point in time, because of the age that you were at the time when everything happened, and the fact that they still continue to raise you up, like I said, some credit is due. I think that walking me down the aisle, I could see her being like, bruh, nah, I think it's an a-hole move to take it away from your mom to not be able to come to the funeral. I understand what happened, but if there was something inside of her that still, you don't know how she might have felt like, hey, I might have messed up my marriage, but I might regret that a little bit. And to not even be able to show her respects is kind of like, I don't know how I feel about telling somebody after the person died because of whatever you got going on inside to wait till after the funeral so they just could not even show up. That's kind of like next level petty. I get it, but here's what I do know. Sickness is attached to negative emotions. You can't keep holding that on for that long. She's 27 now. That's 17 years of holding that level of anger about a situation in.
Yeah.
It's hard to give up stuff. I know. It's very
what
difficult.
Makes it harder for her, I think? The mom being forceful about it.
What you mean? Say again.
You need to get the F over it.
Yeah.
And this man has taken, you need to respect this man. And it's like, no humility, no remorse, no, I handled that wrong. And
I
you
think
don't
that
understand. Like, it's just
we
arrogant.
might have missed that though. Because the thing is, we're hearing one person's perspective from one point of view. And the issue with just hearing that is we heard the fed up response. So I'm going to say this, right? It's like sometimes you'll see people, and I didn't get it until I had a kid and I had to check myself. You'll see people snap at kids. I was in Five Below just grabbing some candy when we was waiting on you at the store. And I just walked in there real quick, and I got some candy out of there. And it was this man and his wife or girlfriend or whatever she was losing it on this little boy. And it was so bad till I didn't want to look back. Like, I didn't want to stare because the kid started crying. But I was like, before I was like, what's going on? Why y'all yelling? And I'm like, this is an all day thing. I don't know exactly what the kid did, but it was like they're trying to put back a toy type situation. Like, hey, you're not going to get it. You keep cutting up type vibes. That's kind of what I was trying to not pay attention because it got to the point where it was a little loud. And I was like, this is not somebody who is snapping on their kid for the first offense. This is somebody who's tired, frustrated, and possibly dealing with this behavior all day, and now it's getting to the point where I cannot regulate my own emotions.
Well, that's when they need to step away.
They definitely, especially the man. First of all, that's in the
public. Second of all, this child is still the child.
Exactly.
So I don't ever agree when people are snapping to the point where they were like,
it was like, oh,
that's abuse.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second, man. Like the dude, the mom was still trying to be kind of decent, even though she was by there. You could tell he didn't push that little boy didn't push some buttons, but the dad was over it. Like, he was done, and I'm like,
yeah. But a lot of times people snap because they can snap on the kid when they're angry about something else. Yeah,
that part too. And I say that to say, this person, how they telling the story, it was kind of long-winded, but how they telling the story, they're not going to tell, oh, well, my mom came to me and she was like, hey, listen, this and this, and we had a conversation about this before, and I was unreasonable.
It doesn't seem like that ever happened.
It's been 17 years. It had to happen at some point.
You would think.
You would think.
But I don't think so, because the mom, when she was 14, blamed the dad for her not like finding out because she wanted, and she was like, "You." So where's the part where you're like, "Listen, I messed up things with your dad. I messed up things with your father.
Yeah,
and I should have handled things differently." And I that's between me and your father to reconcile, because I do owe him an apology.
Right.
And I owe you an apology too, because that wrecked the life that you knew. And now you have to get used to this new life. And I'm sorry for that.
Right.
But this is the life that I'm trying to build now.
Right.
And I would love for you to feel like you're a part of this family, because you are.
Right.
There's no mature conversation that happened like that when a woman is now... The crazy lady came, the angry wife came to the house. All of that happened.
Right.
Then she comes 4 years later to say, this is your fault. She's mad because you messed up. Where is the responsibility that you're going to take in messing this up? That's telling me that woman is garbage. Right. First of all, she had their affair with another married man. Yeah. The mom is trash. Then the mom says, you need to get the F over. That's literally what she told her.
Yeah. Well,
and face up, respect this man. Right. And she's like, you had no respect for my father. I'm not going to respect this dude. Right. I don't respect you. Now, if the mom came with like, listen, there was a lot broken in the marriage and I handled it the wrong way, and I saw things in the wrong way, and I'm getting therapy for that, and I'm sorry that I hurt your father, and I'm very sorry that I hurt you. Right. If she handled it differently, this would have been she would have been like, okay, you need to she still needs to let her anger go.
I think, yeah.
100%. But it's hard when this person's in your face.
Yeah. Yeah.
Telling
yeah.
you,
Yeah.
ma'am, you ungrateful.
That's the other thing. Like, that's the only thing. Depending on how that coin flip goes, that's the only thing that makes this really bad or just bad. Because if the mom has had a decent conversation with her in the past and then she came again, it's like, bro, when we going? Okay, stop. You see what I'm saying? Like, if it had happened where this has been going on and you were just like, I'm rebellious teenager type vibes and I'm just not doing this, and like now you're 27 and we're still going through this, like, what are we doing? I've already talked about this. I didn't apologize. This man that helped you out. He helped you through high school. He helped you through college. He
but
paid
he's
for
still
this.
not walking me down the aisle.
I know, I get that. That's a bit far.
This is the reason why the mom is losing it.
But I get that, and that's why I said I don't blame that. My problem was with you waited to after the dad's funeral to tell her.
But her answer was the mom's upset because we could have been there for you, her and the man.
Yeah.
And not because I wanted to pay my respects to
True, she did
your
say
father.
that. I stand corrected.
She said, I want to do that because
we could have been there for you.
Some
like,
people,
I don't want you there for me.
I don't know how to explain it, but some people
are fraudulent. They have their own motives.
Right, but when they get with somebody, they become a we. You just don't ever see them by themselves. They don't talk by themselves. It's just you. That person is a we.
Right.
And she's less like, we wanted to be there. That man is the last person she would want at her father's funeral.
I feel that.
And the mama's not coming without that man.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'd rather deal with this myself.
I missed that part. You're right. If it wasn't for...
I'm going to go through this by myself because, first of all, you never gave a crap about my father.
Right.
That's in her mind. They might have had a great relationship for 10 years or a bad one. We have no idea. But when she was 19, she lost the one, like, that she cared about. It seems like she was more close to the dad than the mom. She never forgave the mom. And she wanted to deal with that and pay respects to him in her own way. Mm-hmm. Now, with you knowing how strained the relationship is, for you to get upset...
You're not walking me down the aisle.
About walking... You're lucky you got invited. With how bad things are.
Yeah, no.
But for you now to come and try to throw a wrench in this is my wedding. Yeah. So if a dog's gonna walk me down the aisle, the dog is gonna walk me down the aisle. But asking the grandpa, it to me is beautiful.
It's still fair. Grandpa's is fair game.
It's not some rando.
And this other man is not her dad.
Yeah.
Like, why would he?
No.
Unless you've adopted, unless it's an adoption situation, like,
it doesn't even. She's never accepted him, so for her to be mad and throwing a fit over this is wild. Because now you're trying to ruin my wedding,
right?
When I'm just trying to tell you, I never just accept it for what it is. Mm-hmm. Just accept it for it. Maybe he can come into your life later as you guys mature, and he can become more of a father figure. But don't force it on the person. Give her space. Yeah. To even, you didn't even ask for forgiveness from what it seems like. So
probably not. Probably not.
Not okay.
Not okay. I understand. Yeah. I would say the thing that is making you not the a-hole is, like I said, depending on how your mother handled the situation in the past. If she's come to you adult like and tried to forgive and all this, apologize, again, it's very unlikely. If she tried to do all that stuff and you still like no because I want to be angry about it, I'm like, I hope you find healing. Because you got to let that stuff go.
Because there's a lot she has to unpack.
Yeah.
From the mom. Because your mom, 10 years old, I feel like you're still in my parents are everything. Yeah. Right? My heroes. And then my mom I'm still, close to my mom and everything. And then to find out that your mom is flawed in such a huge way. Harlot.
Mother's a
harlot. For them to now... Divorce, whether there's infidelity or not, is a lot for kids to go through. Right. They get broken in a lot of ways. So that would have been a lot. And then to find out that your mom is the person who ruined it
Whew.
is a lot. And then for 9 years later, your dad dies. And then it's a lot that she has.
She got a lot going
she needs
on.
some therapy to just heal some things.
Yep.
And to just try and get over it so she can come into this this marriage that she's trying to get into with more of a softer heart.
This man that came in the wrong way needs to have a nice day, because I'm saying this is just me on the outside. Had I met you and you had a child and that child's father was still in their life, and it came to me versus them wanting to walk them down the aisle, I gotta shut up. And I get it. It's like, okay, well, the man is dead now, so now I'm competing with nobody, basically, because that person can't walk you down the aisle. So it's like me, or I got to reach up to the grandfather. It's like, I'm still not that kid's father. Now, if I come in, I remember seeing, hearing about, I don't know what it was on one of these social media things, about the guy who was asking a similar question on his own regard, but he had done everything for this kid. He was a stepfather. He'd done everything for them
since they were like 4 or something.
And then
like that.
He didn't get invited to the graduation.
Yeah, no, that was sad.
It was very sad, and that was like.
And there was like 8 tickets.
Yeah,
it was like not just like
it wasn't
2 or 3,
just one or 2
bunch.
people, and
it was like, the girl's boyfriend.
Yeah, and it was kind of like, this is crazy for me to do this for you, and you couldn't even talk great. And when I came into your life,
but
so
that's
it's
the mom's fault.
Absolutely.
That's the mom's fault for something like that.
That was out of pocket.
It's
so had that been this scenario, then it would have been a lot more understandable for the dad to be like, hey, why I ain't get picked for this? You know what I'm saying? But
the girl's boyfriend should not have been there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a whole nother story.
You need to figure out a friend to see if there's definitely somebody who doesn't need 8 tickets. Yep. Who can get an extra ticket. But boyfriend is not coming.
That's not a boyfriend who's not gonna last. He is important, but he's not that important. You might not ever, like I said,
gonna last.
Soon as college hit,
bye. And then so now I lost my. But the thing is, it's letting you know where you stand in the person's life, and that's more symbolic than anything else.
It's tough.
It's not really about the ticket so much as you don't even care.
The principle.
To me, the mom should have been like, "I'm sorry, what? Why didn't you do da da da?" If that were me and I were the mother, I'd be like, nah, such and such.
We're not doing this. This person is definitely coming.
Yeah.
Or I'm not coming. No, she ain't gonna do that.
She's not gonna do
I'm
that
just saying,
okay.
like, no, that would have been, that's out of pocket. Take care of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of each other. I don't know if these two things are gonna go together.
They do. Mom needed.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the stuff I was talking about at the beginning.
That's what I'm talking about. They do taking care of people. You wouldn't have done the divorce, the infidelity, the cheating, if you were taking care of each other. If they were taking care of each other, the infidelity, divorce might have happened,
right?
But it would have been kinder.
Yeah.
And less,
we need to
less chaotic.
Find a way to take care of one another. Do this chivalrous thing. Treat each other right. Make your commitments and stick to them. Let your word be your bond, as they say. And
respect marriage.
Respect marriage. Respect your relationship in general, prior to marriage, and one another. But from both sides, guys, hold the door for the young lady. Go get her lunch. Simp out on your girl. And women, stop calling these men simps because he like you. You should be flattered that somebody like you. Fellas, make a decision. Make a decision. Do you want to be with this young lady or do you not want to be with her? And if you don't want nobody, say I don't want nobody. And be happy not wanting nobody. Don't come into somebody's life not knowing what you want.
I just want to date, have a good time,
and be okay with that.
And there's another person who wants to date and have a good time. That's what those two people should get together.
But that'd be the problem, is because the people that won't
consistently. Do you still feel the same?
The people that
things are changing.
Yeah, it start out that way, and then feelings. I want to date and have a good time, and then all of a sudden the person that you dating to have a good time with start liking you, and it's like, oh no, what is all of these feelings?
Well, a lot of the time
something's broken with that anyway. I don't care. We built for relationships. I don't believe in none of that. I could just sleep with who I want to, especially not from no female side. Y'all ain't built like that. And men, when we do that, sometimes it's broken in us too. It's some conquest stuff. Like, get your self-esteem up, bro. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. Like, there's a lot of people, and it goes back to what I was saying, but I like that word, foundation. You have no foundation. Mm-hmm. You have no character. There's no way you can keep just being out here being an animal and just breaking people's hearts and tearing them apart and not being good to yourself or somebody else. And you just, no.
There was a priest, Catholic priest, when I used to go to church when I was a kid. Me and my sister would always remember this sermon. And trust me, we've been to so many, you don't remember any. But this particular one we remembered because the priest was saying, you have to be rooted in God. Be rooted. He said, because when you're rootless, you become ruthless.
Yeah.
When you're not rooted in anything that's worth something, anything can go, and then it's a slippery slope to the point where you're doing stuff like what you just described. Mm-hmm. Playing people, doing all kinds of stuff.
Broken.
You're just not rooted in the proper foundation.
Cheating.
Yeah.
The new age saying for that would be, if you don't stand for anything, you fall for everything. Mm-hmm. So build your house on the solid rock, not on sand. That's something else. We're not gonna do no more preaching today, but please take care of yourself and each other. I do want you to have a fantastic evening. This is a little bit different for us. Not necessarily because we used to do that and then we stop and just start doing all Reddit, but whatever. So it's just a little bit different. But however, I do hope that you have enjoyed the first part of the story as well as the Am I the A-hole second part of the story. We love those still. Thank you. Please continue to like, comment, share, subscribe, all of the above. We appreciate every last one of you.
Bye.